Hello, hello. How's it going, everybody? This is Etho, and welcome back to another episode of the HermitCraft. And today's episode is going to be a bit what? It's going to be a bit weird, maybe. Maybe a bit more on the informal side, maybe a bit shorter. I'm not sure. We'll see how this goes. Usually when I record HermitCraft, I have a bunch of projects that I want to do or that I have done, and then I kind of go through them and show you what they are, right? This episode, I'm in a mad scramble right now. I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff done, and I thought, why don't I just hit the record button and see what happens? Maybe we'll get an episode out of this. I don't know. Maybe it'll be entertaining. Maybe it won't. Maybe you guys will love seeing me kind of not so organized. Who knows? But yeah, the situation is as follows. As you know, last episode we worked on the Battlebane Arena. We got most of it built, but we didn't do any of the gamifying part of it. We didn't do the redstone and all the extra details. Hey, Jevin. What's going on, Jev? I hit him up for some stuff. Hopefully he has it. How many saddles and what was CB? Crossbows. If you could get maybe like 2 shulkers of each. Good stuff. All right, looks like Jevin has us covered on the saddles and crossbows. Cub fan brought by some potions for the horse course. I got some gold earlier from Tango, so all the hermits are kind of working together to make sure these mini games get put together in time for the charity event that Scar's hosting on Sunday. By the time you see this episode, it might have already happened because like I said, I'm scrambling here. But yeah, that's kind of the plan for today. I got working on this a long time ago, and then I had family visit for 2 weeks, and now I got 1 day left to finish things and get them ready for the event. So that is what we're doing here today. Plus, this is really cool. B-Dubs has built the horse course from Season 8. Remember we worked on this together? He did the building, I did the redstone, and sort of the track layout. And we never got to actually play it, though, which was a bit of a letdown for everybody. B-Dubs and myself, of course, played it off camera together a little bit, which was fun. But, you guys never got to see that. So, yeah, that's really awesome. We'll be able to actually play it in the charity event and maybe in future events as well. But I kind of need to go through this as well and kind of add anything that's missing that I see is missing, like saddles and stuff. There's supposed to be like beds for people to set their spawn and that kind of thing. So hopefully we can get to this today as well. Let's focus on Battlebane first. So I've been working on this the last couple days. So I think we should go over some of the stuff I've done already and some of the decisions I made, why I made them, that kind of thing. And then we'll get to what needs to be done. So first off here, you might remember last episode, I wasn't too sure what to do, like when someone gets knocked off the bridge or jumps out of the arena or whatever. How do we handle what happens when they fall here? Originally, I was planning on digging like a deep 24 block hole so they would die from fall damage. But you guys very cleverly in the comments suggested, why don't you just put down magma blocks or lava or dripstone or something? That way you don't need to dig a deep hole. So great idea. That's what I ended up going with, the magma blocks here. I was able to get 2 shulkers of this stuff, I think in like 16 minutes of farming. So it's very easy to collect, very easy to place. And I didn't have to dig a deep hole, which saved a ton of time. Is he actually going to get me my vanishing books? That would be amazing. He's doing it. You are a champ. So another thing that got mentioned in the comments last episode is how I should do the spawn area here. So originally I was just planning on putting like a fence here and then building a room back behind with some beds and some gear. People would respawn back here, grab their gear, and go out, right? The concern was, what about spawn camping, right? That's always a big issue in PvP games. Not really so much with the hermits. I don't think people would play cheap, right? Hopefully. But, it always happens a little bit. So, kind of to deal with that, my plan was this. Let's put the spawn room underground. You don't really see when someone's going to respawn. You get down to the spawn room over here. There's one for each of the 4 colors. So this is the one for the blue team, right? People come down here at the start of the game. They set their spawn in a bed. They drop off whatever gear they have in the locker room over here. And then they're kind of good to go to play the game. So this is kind of where people hang out before the game starts. when the game actually starts, we need to get like a block over here to pop down. So this opens up. And then when they go through here, we need to give them gear. And then they'll walk through and go up into the arena. Aha, okay, so let's test this out. The idea is we're going to have one of these dispensers for the helmet, one for the chest piece, one for the pants, and one for the boots. You walk through or run through, and then the fence gate should stop you. And yeah, it put on our gear automatically, so that's really nice. The fence gate opens, and then you can walk through. So people will have to go through this one at a time is the only thing. There's also 4 droppers up here. I'm planning on putting a sword and I think an infinity bow, which then another one will also be needed for an arrow. And that just leaves 1 dropper left for food, like golden carrots maybe. They'll get 1 carrot. Is that enough? Maybe not. Maybe they need 2 or 3. You know, there's lots of concerns when you're building these things. You don't know how they're going to play until they actually get played. Is 1 carrot enough? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Also, what happens when we put our piston here to start the game? I think this will actually work out okay, because that'll block someone from entering when someone's in here already. And the other thing is, do we have enough space back here to make this work? I sure hope so, because we gotta have enough gear to last a round, at least. Hopefully more than that. And also make sure the gear doesn't get mixed into the wrong droppers or dispensers too. So, like, I can't put a hopper here, because then, like, anything in this one will go down here as well, and in here. So, this can't be here. I think I'm gonna have to punch this out and go that way. And then bring a hopper here. Alright, this should work out pretty good. We got 4 double chests for the gear on this side, and now we just need to mirror that to this side. And then also do it for the 4 teams. So it's kind of like we're timesing by 16, right? It's not like not a big detail, but when you multiply by 16, even the small details become kind of big with projects like these. And then when you do lots of details and you're multiplying them all by 4 or by 8 or by 16, you know, it starts to get a little bit crazy, a little bit out of hand, a little bit like, why am I still working on this project 5 days later than I should be? That's where we're at. Very good. So I think with that, our gearing stations are now complete. We just need to deliver the gear to them, and we're good to go. First, we gotta make the gear, though. Small little detail, not that important. It takes forever. I'm actually really happy with these dispensing stations, though. Like, I've made a couple of these in the past, and they've always kind of been a little bit clunky. Like, I think the last one was for Rip Zone, and it's a little bit bulky, a little bit clunky. This one I think will be really smooth, and it's really compact too. There's just a piece of redstone dust under that pressure plate, which goes to a sticky piston on both sides. And that's a monostable circuit that activates this repeater. The observer detects that, and it shoots the items out of the dispensers and droppers above. And then you just need a redstone torch underneath the fence gate, and that is it. Okay, moving on here, we do have an instruction booklet for how to play Battlebane. I'm not going to read this. You can read it if you wish. You'll have to pause the video and check it out. But there's also something here for the Game Master. Choose 1 player to be the Game Master. The Game Master room is located under the red team's locker room. Choose a round length by hitting a button. This also starts the game. Count the scores at the end of the game. Okay, what am I talking about here? I'm going to take you down to the depths of Battlebane. Are you ready for this? Let's go down here. This is a special room underneath the red team where the Game Master goes to start the game. There's a clock here that's kind of cool. So he chooses if he wants it to be a 20-minute game, an 18-minute game, 16, all the way down to 6 minutes is the shortest round time. So let's say he chooses 14, hits the button, that ejects a piece of netherrack out of the dropper here. And it makes its way very slowly down the cobwebs. We got 5 cobwebs. Each cobweb takes about 25 seconds for an item to go through. So that's roughly, not exactly, but roughly 2 minutes in length. And then when it hits the pressure plate at the bottom, it just kind of snakes over to the next one here and activates this dropper. And it kind of just makes its way through here. As long as it doesn't take 5 minutes to get down the cobwebs, the item won't despawn either. So you don't have to worry about that. And then when it gets to the very, very end that you can't even see over here, it lands on this pressure plate, and this is the piston that controls whether or not the game is running. So when the redstone block is over here, the game is running. When the item lands here, when the timer finishes, the redstone block goes over there, and the game is no longer running. So that is a pretty good way of doing things, I think. And let's see. So the way this works, behind the redstone lamps there, actually, I don't know if we can see this even. There is a line of redstone as well. Yeah, over here. So all the glowstone lamp is there, and we got 2 observers that bring the signal over here. Combine them all together. So whichever button gets pushed, it doesn't matter. This redstone line lights up, and then it goes down to over here and pushes the redstone block this way. So that starts the game when this redstone line lights up. And then the game ends when the pressure plate gets pushed down here. So it's very simple, and then the redstone line here can go to our other game mechanics that need to know whether or not the game is running. And there's a bunch of them, which we'll get to in just a second, I think. All right, so check this out. Remember last episode we set up these like capture point systems where you throw the player heads, or we're gonna have golden apples in this game as well. You throw the points over there and they get entered into your team's score. Once this thing sucks them up, when the lights count down, it sucks up anything on this pedestal here. And then the way this works is, I don't know how well we can see this around the back. I think I got this a little bit closed up now. Yeah, but there's a dropper that automatically shoots items out down a column here to that water stream area we just saw. Let's head back over there. And those, like, we need to kind of collect all the items together, all the player heads that the teams get, all the golden apples to a central location so that we can easily count up the scores at the end of the round instead of running all over the map. So the idea is they come down over here. So we were at the blue team. I can actually see them floating. You see in the corner there, just barely. So the reason you can't see them right now is because the game's not running. So it automatically locks these so they can't receive any extra points after the round's ended. But if we start up the game here, those should be able to go in here. Yeah, so the coal that was sitting on top of the hopper there was able to enter while the game is running only. And yeah, that's where the points will go in from all 4 teams here. Jevin, my hero.
Yo, what's up, Etho? How you doing, dude?
Good.
So I've only got 1 villager that has vanishing, and I'm like tired of waiting for him to refresh.
Yep.
So I do have quite a bit for you here, though.
Excellent, man. This is a huge help.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a matter of just waiting for nighttime and daytime to get the rest of the books for you. So. But,
oh, you put mending on the crossbows.
Oh, I got you covered, homie.
Dude, you went all out.
I got them all from my raid farm, so I had to like repair them.
Oh,
so
okay.
And I already had the mending books, so it's all good.
Awesome, man. All right, maybe let's talk about this for a second. Why are we doing the scoring system that way? Why aren't we just automatically calculating the score somehow? And the reason is it would be very complicated. So the idea is we're going to have player heads worth 2 points in our game. You get a kill, you get a player head. That's worth 2 points. Not from your own team, though. Those are worth 0. You want to actually try to destroy those if you ever get them, because you don't want the other teams to get them from you, right? So you can throw them in lava, throw them off the edge, whatever you want to do with them. You can even just hide them somewhere. And then we're going to have golden apples worth a point as well. We'll talk about that in a second. So we have 2 different things worth different amounts of points. Plus, player heads don't stack, really. Sometimes they do. They have NBT tags, so it would be a very complicated thing to make an automatic system for calculating our score. It kind of has to be done by a human, I think. And the other thing is you can put whatever you want in this, and it would be very difficult to make a proper filter for this. Let's take a moment now to talk about the golden apples, shall we? Because this was actually the thing most discussed in last episode's comments. How should we get people to wander around our map? We don't want people to just group up in teams and be afraid of engaging with anyone, right? We need to reward them somehow for going around the map and possibly getting split up from their team or getting put into a dangerous situation, right? So the plan was, let's make these dispensing stations around the map that give us a point, right? That was my original plan. You guys kind of talked me out of that a little bit. You wanted me to reward players with power-ups, like maybe they get a Totem of Undying from one of these, or maybe a better sword, or better armor, better bow, special arrows. There's a lot of power-ups we could give players, and that would be a nice reward, right? I somewhat decided against that though as well, because the big problem is I am struggling just to get the gear we already need for this game, and now if we had 10 or 20 different power-ups, like, I have no way of getting Totems of Undying. I'd have to ask another hermit, and you do that for 20 different types of gear, this gets really crazy. It's never going to get finished, right? So I decided, let's give, in these dispensing stations, there's 10 of them that are going to be scattered around the map. They're going to have golden apples in them, okay? Those golden apples are kind of a power-up, right? You can eat them. If you choose, you'll get bonus hearts and resistance, and it's very useful for combat. Also, let's say they are running out of food on the map. They can eat it for food. That kind of solves one of my other problems. Because you don't want people at 3 hunger bars slowly walking around the map. If you ever get to that point in a PvP game, it feels really bad. So they'll always be able to get food on the map that way. And the other thing is, it adds a big level of strategy. Do you eat your points to stay alive? Or to gain a combat advantage? It's up to you, right? If they want, though, they can throw the golden apples here. They get a point. And there's going to be 10 of them around the map. So the volcano has one, and the castle has one. We're going to try to alternate the timing on when they get fired. So I don't want them to be able to go to that one and then go right to this one. We want them off timing with each other a bit. It was kind of hard to get them to scatter around the map. The other thing is, like, if I have one in the volcano and one in all the castles, that's on the outside of the map. That's kind of the furthest distance apart from each other. But how do we get people to go to the middle of the map is the next problem, because nobody will if there's no reason to go to the middle. So I'm planning on putting 2 in the middle as well, and they're going to dispense tons of golden apples. This will be the highest contention point, hopefully. There'll be a platform up here that shoots apples out, and then I also want one down below in the mine area. Let's go over there real quick. Oh yeah, and check this out. I did this especially for Scar. He was really excited about this. You hit the button there, you can ride the minecart all the way down to the mines. Look at that. Nice and fun. Okay, so I also want to have golden apples dispensed here. So it's a bit of a risk to go into the water to collect them because you're vulnerable. But that will help to get people down in this area too, I think. Yep. So that's my general plan for how I want this game to work. And I think if we can do all that stuff, we'll have ourselves a pretty cool game here. We just got to do it now. So we got to get gear for that thing. And the big thing also left now is hooking up our mechanics to the start game system. So let's take this piston, for example. We need that to be up when the game is not running and down when it is running, right? It would also be nice if we had like a note block tune that played just before the game started. You know, little details like that go a long way. I don't know if I have time to do it, but I'm gonna try. But yeah, like from our piston here, this is our game is running or not piston, right? When that redstone block lights us up, we need to tell that other piston to go down or up. I'm not sure. Let's just hook it up and figure it out. So that piston is right over there, and then we gotta also run it to all the other teams. We bring this over here, get it to connect to that piston, although that's gonna mess this up. Oh, maybe let's not do that, shall we? I think that'll bud power the piston and maybe cause problems. What can we do instead? Can we maybe that'll work. Let's try it. All right, our game is stopped right now. The piston is up. That's good. So if we start the game, that should go down for all the teams once we got it hooked up. And that's exactly what it did. So that's great. All right, well, I just swung by our base here for a second to pick up some stuff. And check this out. We got a couple things going on here. A few stray kitties outside our portal. I don't know the story behind this. I think they're Azumas. But I haven't been able to watch any of the other Hermit's videos lately just because I've been so busy with real life stuff. But I'm sure there's a story behind that. I'll have to figure it out. And also, Corellis today, he's like, Etho, you want some gunpowder? And I always want some gunpowder. So he brought by some gunpowder. A whole bunch of it. Plus some other goodies. Ladders for ladders, right? And then a whole bunch of wood and just such a nice guy. Gotta love Corellis. Just out of the blue, no reason, just brought by a big gift. I also got 2 boxes of gunpowder from Doc today, so today's a really good day actually. Things are going my way. If we head down here, I guess let's go over the gearing situation a bit. I have been working on it. We got some bows with infinity and curse of vanishing, and some leggings. We want the vanishing so that when people die in our game, their inventories don't get flooded with picking up other people's armor and bows and stuff. But anyways, guys, this was a spur of the moment episode. Sorry if it seemed a bit rushed, but the cool thing is if I end recording here pretty quick, you'll actually see this before the charity event, and you'll know to go check it out, and also how the game works and all that stuff before you see the event. So hopefully that works out good for you. So the charity event is on Sunday the 23rd, I think at 2 Eastern. Check out Scar's Twitter or his YouTube for more information if you need it. It's going to be on Twitch, and I think some Hermits will be streaming on YouTube as well. Anyways, what was I going to say here? Let's just go over the gearing situation before we end things, and I'll leave it up to you to guess whether or not I'll get a lot done here. So, right now, my biggest concern, my biggest worry for what I need to do here is the gear, because let's do math. Math is not my friend today. No. Each person that plays our game is going to need boots, pants, chest plate, and a helmet, plus a sword and a bow. And the bow is extra annoying because it also needs infinity on. So that's 6 pieces of gear per death from our players. I think there's going to be 16 people playing our game. So just doing the math here. Let's say somebody dies every 40 seconds on average. I think that means we're going to go through a shulker box of gear for each item every minute, if I'm doing the math right. So for leggings alone, if we have 8 shulkers of leggings into our game, that's going to only last 8 minutes of playtime, possibly. Is that right? That really scares me. That means I need a lot of gear. Well, I tell you what, guys, I think I better get to it here, shouldn't I? So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'm going to be putting some gear together here. It actually goes really quick. It's just that we need so much of it. It'll take a bit of time. But yeah, thanks for watching. Until the next one, take care, and bye-bye.
You come over here. Oh, do you have a sword also? You might have to fight off some slime.
I don't have a sword.
Oh, no worries.
You'll protect
No
me,
problem.
right?
Okay, you stand here.
Right here?
Yeah, in line with the slime block here on the ground, okay?
Okay.
Here, take the sword in case you need to defend yourself. Don't move.
What are you trying to do here, Doc, exactly?
I'm testing something.
Okay.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Let's see if it works. All right. Fingers crossed.
I kind of hope it doesn't work, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that worked.
Oh man.